Hey, this is Khalid Farouk Hayek with Urban Kids Universe, and welcome to UKU Impacting Education Show, where we help early childhood educators, childcare directors, homeschoolers, and parents make an impact. Today, we are going to talk about a very interesting topic, especially for parents, which is moving my child to a preschool. And I have with me here, Pareese. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure having you here in the show.
Thank you. I love sharing input. I love sharing topics and my expertise in this field. So I'm happy to talk about preschool today.
Awesome. Give us some introduction about this topic.
All right. So moving to preschool is very exciting, first of all, for children and for parents. Watching their young toddler grow and develop to a preschool level is absolutely amazing. It feels great.
Yes.
Preschool usually ranges around 2.5 to 3 or 4 years old, depending on childcare. And this is a level where children learn to create relationships. With peers, they begin to develop a sense of understanding with concepts, with rules to games, and they are really heavily into imaginary play. They like to role play, especially in home areas or with costumes, even outside. If you see them running around all together in groups, this is the age group where they're always going to be playing with either one or more other children. Unlike toddler, it'll be only separate because they don't understand how to do that yet. Preschool is very thrilling. It's very imaginative. You can just imagine all the stories they'll tell us.
Nice. When do you the age group where you consider them preschoolers?
So usually we would consider them preschoolers around 2.5. But it also depends on their development as well. If they are ready to go to preschool, because sometimes they are a little slower in some areas. So we try to focus on those to be able to get them to preschool.
So in your center, you have before preschool as well. You have we have toddlers, and then the preschool. So yeah. It's just separate rooms. How does it work? So you can transfer this child from inside to inside.
Yeah. So usually at centers, there's different rooms. So there's a toddler room and there's a preschool room. My center is 2 different buildings. So I have a toddler building with 2 toddler classrooms, and then I have a preschool building with 2 preschool classrooms. And then in the toddler building, there is the moving to preschool classroom. So it's the toddlers that are going to be moving to preschool, but they have to visit preschool and how they do things on their schedule to get them used to it. And then they get moved to the big preschool building.
Wow.
So we actually do a transition class for that.
I mean, you are part of the decision. Even if the parents are asking you to move them and you believe they need a little bit more time, another month, let's say, you can tell them that?
Yeah.
Awesome. Wow, this is very amazing. Okay, so let me get right into it and ask you the first question I have on my list. Okay, so how do you prepare your child for preschool?
All righty. All right, so preparing your child for preschool is a lot of work. First of all, it will be a lot of work. There's a lot of establishing set schedules. Pretending you're at school is a really good one. A really good tip for all you parents out there. It's a very good tip to get them used to routines that you do in a regular school setting, like hanging up your backpack, practice putting on your shoes yourself, putting your jacket on, as well as taking turns reading stories. Get them to develop patience to be able to read stories, get them to sit down and read with you, or play games with them, and where you have to take turns and help them develop a taking turn skills so they understand when they move to preschool, that's what they're going to be doing. So it makes it easier for the ECEs, and it makes them happier to be in that setting than struggling to figure out how they're going to develop these social skills out of really nowhere. You can also prepare your child for preschool at practicing fine motor skills as well. Really focusing on fine motor, being able to write with pencils or using scissors. These are These are very important for preschool, and then from preschool moving to kindergarten. They're very, very good skills to learn. It'll get your child there a lot faster.
Yes, absolutely. You know what? I'm gonna dive in to this point a little bit with some examples, so we can anchor in like with the real life examples. I'm gonna start from my daughter Senna, which is almost 3 next month. So she's gonna be 3 years
Nice.
old now. I remember it's for one time only when she saw one of the other kids who putting on their jacket in the very nice way where they lay it down on the floor and then they
Oh,
take
the
it all the way, they
flip.
flip it, and oh my god, she loved it. She loved it so much. And
Yeah.
then I start teaching her that in the studio, and then she started teaching it to all of the other kids in our family because like she loved how to show off that she's flipping it.
Yeah.
So doing this was like very nice as a transition. Also, I believe my wife, she brought like I'm just giving you real life examples again. She brought a few shoes that are very easy to wear. She doesn't have to tidy anything, so she's just gonna wear them. This is went very good, and the easiest one for me, I believe, it was the winter boots. It's just very easy, like it's just a slide in, and that's it. Now, here is the catch regarding when you said socialize with other kids at this age group, especially after 2, that the child always they need that toy for themselves right now. Okay, this is mine. You hear this word mine. So I hear the word mine twice. One from the kids in this age group, and the second time I heard it in Finding Nemo, where these seagulls they say mine.
Mine.
So, it just reminds me with these seagulls.
Yeah, it does.
We decided as a family to start bringing sand toys, so we can, when we go to the school after the school ended, we can use the school playground, the outdoor playground, and there is a sand, right? Like, so over there, we try to take these toys and then allow other kids to play with them. Now, many parents, they don't like that because of COVID. Others, they just don't care. Let them play. Okay. But I believe this is one of the very important points that you start teaching the child to share toys, to play. Now, other toys is a little bit concerned, but this is a very good example. Do you agree with these examples? Do you have other example?
Yes, they do build a sense of possessiveness when they do have siblings, especially with siblings, because they like to steal toys from each other. But that is the best setting to be able to develop sharing. And I do understand that only children, like just children with only just one and no other siblings, I know it's a little difficult to do that, but being able to play with them and getting them to share with you will kind of gives off that same effect.
Absolutely. Like even I can anchor in with one last example, which is even sharing the songs. When we play DJ in the car, we take turns. Before, it's all about me, Sana, she wants all of the songs for her, but right now, oh, she has to wait. Even if it's only me and her in the car, she has to wait for her turn, and we choose songs. Like all of this is preparation, right? Awesome.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let me go direct to my next question. Okay, so what if my child is a preschool age but isn't skilled enough for preschool? Can the center deny getting my child to moving up to preschool?
So from my experience in childcare, they usually wouldn't deny your child if they aren't developmentally skilled up to the preschool level. But unlike my center, we have a transitioning room to get to preschool. So even though parents want their child to go to preschool, they visit that room. And then we work on the skills there as well. And we also share concerns with parents to be able to work with them and so they can do their part in getting their child up there as well. So it's not just all of us, because we still have like 30 plus children that we're all taking care of. So it gets a lot.
Yes, I agree. Now, this question came, I believe, from a person who they didn't have their child in a toddler or a babysitting before. They just jumped right into the preschool, exactly like myself and my wife. We don't have Senna yet in any childcare center.
Oh, okay.
Not yet. We're working hard at home just to try to accommodate that time. But this is the question where it's absolutely we're gonna have that concern. Is it okay to move on or not? But I believe in such situation, we already prepared the child to the level that they can get in, right? Okay.
Yes, for sure.
Awesome. Next question. So how much time is devoted for a free play in a preschool?
Alrighty, I like this question because it is different actually. Typically for preschool age, it's 2 to 3 hours of free play that's given. But unlike toddler, there's a lot more provided for toddler because it's not much of a structured setting. It's just play, like learning and play, like play based. Everything's play, and they don't have a very high attention span to be able to sit and do activities. So free play in toddler is like probably like 3 to 4 hours. Unlike preschool, we have more of a structure type of curriculum. So we actually have to do strict schedules, transitions, activities, group activities, group play. So we do free play probably around 2 or 3 hours, I would say. I know every childcare is different, but for my center, from my experience, that's what we do. So I would say 2 to 3 hours for sure for preschool.
Gotcha. Yep. Totally. Okay, let's move to the next question. As an early childhood educator, how would you encourage further learning and skill development during daily routines for that age group?
Daily routines for that age group. Okay, so that's a really good question. So preschoolers are already usually at that stage where they can talk, they can have conversations with you. So in this case, I would encourage them to build their independence and social skills for daily routines. So being able to sing along with friends for transitions, or for example, if a child's arguing with another child, instead of just stepping in and just solving it, ask them to talk it through. Ask them, why are you upset? And then, why are you upset? And then try to find a happy medium, but help them problem solve. Don't just solve it yourself. Don't be like, hey, stop doing this. Let's go and do this instead. Toddler is a little different, but preschool, they're able to understand those social skills and the independence. So that comes for independence as well, like being able to help them make their own decisions, understand what right and wrong is, what they should be doing in a certain situation, instead of just doing it for them. Give them more responsibility for activities and routines. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. The only thing I would love to have from you is more examples. It's just
More
like
examples,
nice
yeah,
to hear
of
more
course.
examples about the
So I
development and
do
the social
have,
skills.
I did have toddlers that did move to preschool. And I, like, one of them would talk all the time. She would have conversations with me all the time. I also have a toddler right now that's going to be moving to preschool later in October. So she's talking to me all the time. She's being potty trained. She understands shame and guilt. So when she has an accident without telling us that she has to use the potty, I will ask her, why did you not tell me? Like I would ask her, like, why did what do I say? I say, like, why did you not tell me you had to go pee? And then she wouldn't really say anything. She just puts her head down because she knows that she wasn't supposed to. She understands that she's showing the shame and guilt that she's supposed to be showing at that preschool age. She when it comes to cleaning up, I start singing cleanup song, and I usually don't actually clean up with them. I will actually let them do it themselves because songs catch their attention. They want to do it. So I usually will just start singing the song while I'm trying to get the next activity ready, and they're cleaning up the toys. I try to keep it consistent with my toddlers and the older toddlers that are moving to preschool to that understand that when that song gets sung, that's when we're cleaning up. It's every single day. So with this specific
just as a joke,
toddler,
how many times you had to repeat the song to
like 5 times. Like 5 times, like on a loop too. I don't take any breaks, like on a loop. Once the song's done, I'll just keep saying it again. But this specific toddler, she'll actually start singing with me, And if she sees one of her friends not cleaning up, she'd be like, let's just say this kid's name is, I don't know, let's just say
Khaled.
yeah, we'll say Khaled. She's like, Khaled, come clean. Like, she'll actually use their name and tell them to come and clean.
How
Like,
old is she?
she's she's like almost 2.5.
Wow.
She's moving to preschool in October. So she will actually use words and use their names to be able to tell them. Or if someone's climbing on a shelf and I'm like, their name, like, get down, and she will actually repeat what we say. She'll repeat it and she'll be like, get down. It's really,
Wow.
really cute. But she has a very strong sense of imaginary play as well. Like, she's wrapping babies. She's like outside. She'll go in the car and she'll be like, hey, I'm leaving. Bye, Miss P. And I'm like, bye. And then she'll be like, I'll see you tomorrow morning. And then she'll get in the car and pretend to drive. Like, she
Wow.
has like a huge sense of imaginary play. And that's specifically amazing and ready for preschool. That's what preschool is all about.
Yes. Now, if I am as a parent, this is where I wanted my child to reach. Like, this is the goal. But
Yeah.
let's give one more example on the other side of the spectrum, where the kids are really shy, or they wanted the no social skills. Let's call it.
No
This is
okay,
what
so
I
I
wanted to
do have a
hear.
toddler that was like that.
Go for it.
So the toddler that we talked about previously in some episodes of toddler tantrums, she's the one that had a lot of tantrums. She would ignore a lot. She doesn't usually have conversations with you, and she's very possessive with her toys. And if someone takes it, she'll start crying. We have to be very patient with her. We try to be very patient with her. Sometimes sometimes she has her off days and she gets way too much, and we're like, what are we gonna do? But that's just the life of an EC. Let's just be real. That's just the life of a childcare center. But she really, we try to use just short, simple words like I would with like toddler.
Yeah.
I would use short, simple words so she understands what we're saying.
Yes.
And she'll repeat what we're saying because she does repeat what you say. But
Awesome.
she doesn't. A lot of times she will ignore you if you ask her to do something. She'll like look at you and then like turn away and walk away. She'll like just walk away from you.
Mhm.
Like, that's what she'll do that. And we've had conversations with her mom before, talking about that because that was a concern because that was why she wasn't ready for preschool. And she doesn't have a big attention span either. So getting her to sit at the table is a little difficult. So I'm not specifically in that preschool room right now. I'm still with my toddlers, but I have been in that room a few times already to see how things worked. And usually we just kind of have to keep reinforcing the same routines, same transitions, same rules over and over and over again, just so she understands this. Repetitive transitions and routines are exactly what she needs, because without that, she won't catch on to things really quickly like my other toddler can.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? Like,
absolutely.
She's a little slower at that part, but she's still like academically, she's very, very smart. Like, she knows her shapes, her colors, her numbers, she knows everything. But when it comes to social skills, like, she doesn't play with other children, she doesn't share, she doesn't talk to you. So we really have to be like very, very patient with her. Usually sometimes I'll actually sit and do an activity with her, and she'll like start showing me what she has. She'll tell me what this is. So that is a connection. It is a connection that she's making because I took the time to sit with her and do an activity with her. And now she's already talking to me saying, hey, this is what this is. Like, this is a banana or something like that. Like, she does that if you sit down and actually do something with her.
That's awesome. You know what? Another question related to this part. Did you take it, not only you, like, as generic, let's call talking about ECEs, do you take it to the next level and assign the same activity, like you don't finish it at school and on purpose, so the kids can finish it at home with their parents, so you can continue that with the parent at home?
So sometimes I do, depending on the activity. Usually I wouldn't, because we just carry it on for the next day.
What is the alternative? If you don't give them that, like, did you give them some type of homework for the parent? I'm giving the homework to the parent, so they help you.
So usually when the kid gets picked up and the parent will ask how their day was, what they did. And if I like specifically choose different activities, or if I like tell them, oh, this, like this word or this phrase worked during this transition that they were struggling with, I'll let the parents know and they can use that at home. So if I say that I don't really know how to, it's like say a certain song worked for this certain child's transition and it made it easier for her to actually be able to move on to another activity. I will let the parents know. I will let them know what the song was or what I said, and they actually use it at home. They'll use exactly what I say at home.
That's a great.
They understand that. So then the child will understand what that means.
That's a great. This type of collaboration is really very important for the child.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
I love that connection with parents to be able to tell them this is what's going on. This is how you can help. I need you to be able to do this at home. This is what I do at here. Maybe we can carry this on during other routines at home.
Awesome. Absolutely. And I believe every parent would love to hear that and they carry it at home.
Of course, yes. They love it. They appreciate it very much.
Awesome. Let's move to the next question then. Okay. Does bullying occur in a preschooler?
Unfortunately, it can. As discussed previously, preschoolers are at that talking phase. They do understand how to have conversations, and they make up stories a lot. But meaning they can have a conversation with their peers, and bullying may not be intentional in preschool. Like it may not be like how it happens at like a school age like childcare or like the school board. The bullying that happens there can be intentional, but in preschool it's not usually intentional. They usually are just making up stories. Like I have a couple preschoolers in the preschool building that are very dramatic. They will make up stories. They will just come crying to you, be like, oh, like so-and-so like hit me or something, or like they said this or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, they probably didn't, but okay. They will make up stories to make it an issue just to get the attention that they want. But usually bullying is not very intentional, but it can happen. It's just because they're still learning the social skills. They're still learning on how to develop sharing and how to develop that communication between each other without being a little bit offensive, because they do pick up things that their parents do say and everything. So it's a little bit iffy about bullying in preschool, but it's not intentional at all.
I believe it's gonna most of the bullying come from a perspective of keeping the toy to themselves, more than really go and bullying that child for the sake of bullying, right?
Yeah. In a
like
sense,
I realize this every time when Sana has her nephews coming, like always she need to play with that exact toy that, let's say, the other child playing with, right? Like it's always, oh, I need it. And then we always repeat, sharing is caring, right?
Yeah.
And then we just give it to her for 2 minutes, and then you take it back for 2 minutes, and it's keep happening. Like for the next half an hour, every single toy, it's keep happening the same situation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
that does
just
happen
take it from their hands, right?
Yeah, that happens in preschool a lot, but they do understand sharing too. Like a lot of them, like there's a lot of patient preschoolers as well. Like they'll literally just like give you a toy because they are not that bold enough to be like, no, this is mine. Or they have siblings at home. They've learned that already. They learned sharing already. So it really just depends on the situation, the kids that are there, their social skill development. It just depends, really.
By the end of the full year, should I expect that all of this situation, like all of this issue, is gonna be done and fixed and developed with that child? Okay.
Not 100%, but mostly, because obviously we don't tolerate that at all at childcare. We don't tolerate that at all at school.
Yes.
But it takes a lot of consistency in working with the parents and being able to communicate with parents and being able to understand where the child's at and tell them this works, this doesn't work, things like that. Being able to keep that, basically keep a tab on their parents, like just, okay, like this is going on, this is going on, this is going on, this works, this doesn't work, try doing this. It's kind of like a two-person, it's a double team kind of thing. I
Absolutely.
have to work with the parents to get the child there. I can't just do it all myself.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing answer, by the way. I love every time when you extend the work to the parent. I love to hear that.
Yes, I do that all
Double
the time.
team. I like it.
Yes, it's double teaming.
Okay, so I believe these are the 5 questions I received so far, and I would love, as always, to move to some action points, please.
All right, so my first action point, take advantage of teachable moments. Being able to develop more skills, being able to develop more communication. Any chance you can get, use that as a lesson, a teaching lesson for that child. My second action point, don't be afraid of your child's slower development. It's not harmful that your child is not ready for preschool. They're not going to deny your child, but don't be afraid or self-conscious about the fact that your child isn't there yet. They're going to get there. That's why we work together. That's why ECs work together with parents.
Absolutely.
My next action point is preschool is more structured stage, slightly less free play. So it's not as playful, not as free and open as toddler is. We are strictly keeping them on schedules. So being able to do that at home will help them be able to pick that up a lot faster at the childcare. My fourth one, allow them to try tasks on their own without asking for help. Being able to don't do it yourself. Don't do it for them. Let them do it themselves. Let them figure situations out themselves. Develop those problem-solving skills and the independence, so they can do things on their own. If they keep depending on you, they're not going to be able to get to the level they're supposed to be at. And practice social skills. Always have conversations. Always be able to help them share and create imagination, creativity. Be able to use open-ended questions specifically to help them develop like their imagination, their more questions. They can develop more questions from that. It helps them create conversation. So that's a really, really big one. Social skills are a big one for preschool.
Totally.
I love preschool, so preschool's great.
Well, thank you so much. That's absolutely amazing. Thank you for your time today.
No problem.
Okay, guys, so this is it for us today. We're gonna just wrap it up here. And this is Khalid with Urban Kids Universe, and this is the UKU Impacting Education Show. Until next time, cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.